My name is Isaac Carr, and I'm going to present to you the service that we provide to 1.5 million people in the United States and Canada. And I'm going to need you guys' help. I want you guys to imagine that you all are my attorneys. Okay? All of you are my attorneys. I am your client. Okay? Now, let's say I'm coming into your office, and you all have this big plush office, and you're sitting here with your nice suits on. And I'm coming to you as a potential client, and I would like for you all to represent my family and I. Okay? I'm 40 years old. I'm married. I have 2 teenage children. I know I look good to be 40. But I'm married with two teenage children, and we have a lot of money. And what I want for you all to do, basically, is to put up some type of contract. I want you guys to provide services for me, but I do not want to pay you all hourly. I would rather pay you all on a monthly basis. Okay? Let's say you guys charge $200 an hour, but I want to pay you monthly because I don't want to have to keep track of how many hours I'm using your service. Can you guys do that for me? Okay. So I'm going to give you a list of services that my wife and I came up with. And when I'm done, I want you guys to tell me how much you think you would charge me for all those services. Okay? Can you guys do that? All right. Now, first of all, my wife and I want unlimited phone consultations through an 800 number. So for any reason we have any questions about our rights during business hours, I want you all to give me unlimited phone consultations during business hours on unlimited subject matter. Can you guys do that? Okay. Second thing we need are letters and phone calls made on our behalf. Let's say, for instance, well, if we ever have a problem with a company or an individual, I want you all to write a letter or make a phone call to get that situation resolved. Can you all do that for me? Third thing I need you all to do is to review contracts and documents for me. Before I sign any other contract, whether it be a mortgage or a lease, I want you guys to review those contracts to make sure that it's in my best interest to sign that contract. Can you do that? I've been burned by contracts before. I don't want to go through that again. The last preventive service I need is a will or a living trust. 70% of Americans do not have a will. If I die without a will, all my assets, my children go to the state. And it's up to them to distribute my family and my assets because I haven't left instructions. So can you guys do that for me? I will. And I also want to be able to update that will every year. Okay? In case my wife starts getting on my nerves, I can change how much she gets year to year. I also want motor vehicle services. In the event that I have, problem I have with my cars is that my wife and my girls were all on the same insurance policy. So every time one of them gets a ticket, I can drive, but they can't drive. And every time one of them gets a ticket, my insurance goes up. So what I'd like for you guys to do, anytime one of us gets a ticket, I want your firm to represent us in traffic court. Can you guys do that? Okay. Now, let's say, for instance, I want major motor vehicle coverage. God forbid I fall asleep behind the wheel. One of my daughters falls asleep behind the wheel. We get into a serious accident. Someone is injured or even killed. In most states, that's an automatic felony charge. Vehicular homicide, negligent homicide, involuntary manslaughter. In that situation, my auto insurance does not cover that. My auto insurance covers the cost of the car, the cost of the medical expenses, but it does not pay for an attorney if there are charges brought against me. I want you all to cover those things in court, regardless of how long they may take. Can you do that? I also want 24-hour emergency service. If it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm coming home from a Christmas party, and I get pulled over and the police accuse me of doing something that I didn't do, I want you all to give me a card that I can keep in my wallet, that I can show that officer, let them know I do have legal representation, I have a right to call my attorney before he can arrest me, detain me, or even question me. Can you do that? On that card, I want another 800 number that gives me 24-hour emergency access to your firm. If it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I don't want to talk to your voicemail, I don't want to talk to a secretary or a paralegal, I want to talk to an attorney in your office. You can do that? Okay. Next thing we need is trial defense services. In the event I get sued in a work-related or a civil lawsuit, I want 75 hours each year of trial time. If someone on my job accuses me of doing something I didn't do, one of my kids smacks somebody else's kid in school, their parents sue me, I want 75 hours. I know that sounds expensive at $200 an hour, but we do need that coverage. Okay? Next thing we need is tax attorney time. Do people in America get sued? Every day. Okay. Do people in America get audited? Every day. And if I get audited, I want 50 hours a year of tax attorney time to make sure that I'm not overcharging that audit. Last thing I need is identity theft protection. Identity theft is the fastest growing crime in these United States. The crime is up 750% since 1999. 750%. The FTC announced a year and a half ago that this year 1 in 4 Americans will have their identity stolen. 1 in 4. And the problem is that most people do not know their identity's been stolen. They find out a year or 2 years later when they go to buy a new home or buy a new car and get turned down. Because unbeknownst to them, somebody's bought a car or bought a house in their name and messed their credit up. So what I would like for you all to do is to monitor my credit on a daily basis. Can you all do that? On a daily basis, if there's ever a new account opened up in my name, even if it's me, I want you all to notify me that same day. I don't want to find out a year from now. I want to find out today. And if it's not me, I don't want you just to notify me. I want you to find out who that person is, and I want you to get my name cleared of that situation. and I want you to restore my name back to where it was before my name was breached. Can you all do that? I want identity theft protection. That's it. That's all my wife and I can think of as far as services go, and that sounds like a lot. And anything else that we did not mention, anything else that we did not mention, anything under the sun, if I'm drunk driving or if I stab my wife, I'm not going to do that. But if anything else is not covered, I want at least a 25% discount off what you charge someone off the street. 25% off any other service. Anything else. You know how to do that? Okay, that's it. Now, how much would you guys charge me for that? A lot of money? Thousands, right? Thousands. Okay, well, you guys can step out of your lawyer suits now. You guys did a pretty good job. Give yourselves a hand. What we do, our company, the whole point of this role play is to explain to you what we do for our customers. We provide all those services to all of our 1.5 million families in the United States and Canada for $35.95 a month. $35.95. That, ladies and gentlemen, $35, I know that sounds ridiculous, right? How on earth can you do $35 for all that? The way we're able to provide that, and you guys were right, it is worth thousands of dollars, but the way we're able to do that at such a low cost is because of the volume. I live in Georgia. In Georgia, we have over 65,000 families that already have the service. Each one of those families pays $35 a month, so collectively those families paid our provider law firm in Georgia last year over $6 million. So that law firm in Georgia is really not willing to provide all those services to all those people for $35, but they are willing to do it for $6 million a year. And we will provide a law firm like that in every single state across the country, as well as 4 provinces in Canada. That membership covers the member's spouse, the member's spouse, all dependent children up to the age of 18, never married full-time college students living at home up to the age of 23. If you have a handicapped child, that person is covered as long as they live in the home. Unlike auto insurance, there is no contract. If you don't want the service 5 years from now, you're not obligated to keep the service. Unlike auto insurance, no matter how many times you use it, we cannot raise the rates for an existing customer. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our product that we offer. That is why this company is growing so fast. Now, let me ask you a few questions. 3 questions. 3 quick questions. Does that sound like a service to you all that everyone in America needs? Yes? 2, does it sound like a service to you that most people in America would want if they got a chance to hear a whole presentation? I would think so. And does that sound like a service to you that people can afford at $35.95 a month? Ladies and gentlemen, the yeses have it. That's my time. Thank y'all for coming out. Good night.